at it again.
Well, the biggest high stress thing I get up, I have to deal with every day, like I am, is to get out of bed. I wake up and it takes me a while to figure out what to do.
You mean to wake up to know?
Just get out of bed, yeah. Do I get up? Do I lay there a while? Do I think about it? Do I go back to sleep? It stresses me out.
That's a lot to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, my shoes ain't like my little croc things that I wear around the house. If they get moved, if a guy comes in and kicks them to
up under the bed,
or that far over from where I put them,
you can't find them.
Then I wake up in the morning in the dark and I'm like feeling around for them shoes for 5 minutes before I can put them on and do something else.
That's what you call in psychology anal retentive.
No, I don't think so.
You may have a dose of that, Phil. Yeah. If you change things, I'm like that. If I put my keys on the dresser, and like on the left-hand corner right there, that's where I go and look for them. Now, if Gwen comes along in the meantime and dusts the table and moves my keys like over here, I can't find them.
Yeah,
I won't be able to find them.
Do you think we could mitigate that aging process, the eccentricities of getting older? Could we mitigate that by exercising regular?
You could mitigate it with a pill or a pistol.
Hey, you're talking about these pistols now. They'll throw us off the internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're going to have a whole... Which brings me...
Don't even let them know we're thinking about it.
I want everybody to know that this is the 8th and the last episode we're going to have...
I thought we was not supposed to mention that.
Well, I'm mentioning it...
See what I'm talking about? Philip, he changes the rules.
I mentioned it because it's your last one
the rules
here.
are just for you and me.
So I wouldn't mention that it's the 8th episode, except that it's the last one Avis is going to be with us.
Well,
he's going back home to the Philippines.
Yeah.
And coming up in the next 8 episodes, and we're going to try to get our brother Ronnie here with us. And one of those episodes, we're going to talk about guns.
Yeah. Yeah. So Avis, you're going back to the Philippines, and
and Ronnie knows a lot better jokes than I know to tell on the air. So.
Avis, you're a pretty funny guy. Yeah, you're funny.
Yeah, I'm headed back. I'm out of here in a few more days.
You'll be back eventually, a couple of years maybe, or
time will
10
tell.
years.
I don't try to make plans like that.
You don't
It's
make
too
any
committal. I can't commit to that. I may or may not be back.
But you hope to see me and Philip again someday.
Yeah,
someday.
Yeah. We may see each other again.
Well, that does my heart good just to know that you
got a spot
you
reserved.
may be back.
Yeah.
Well, today our episode is on exercising.
And as Philip was saying, Ronnie's going to come in on
Ronnie's going to come in on the next 8.
Well, that'll be good. We can use a dose of Ronnie.
And like Avis said, Ronnie has some pretty good jokes and stories.
Will Ronnie have to sit on the syrup can? Like, can we initiate Ronnie like we did Avis?
Yeah, put him on that little.
You notice we let Avis. We let Avis rise up as the longer he was on.
Yeah.
He started off, his chin was coming like to about here.
We had him on the syrup can and then moved up from there.
Yeah, when I see Ronnie on here, I want to see him with that sitting on that little bitty chair, looking over the table.
Don't worry.
We'll be patting him on the head. Hey, Ronnie, glad you come here.
Yeah, he got to go through the initiation. He can't just come in and be one of us right from the get-go. Yeah.
A couple of executives.
He can't be an Albritton Letter right from the
famous
start.
people here.
Well, let's get on the topic here. When we're old now. As we get older, do we still need to exercise regularly?
Well, they say we do.
Oh,
I'm not totally persuaded. I never saw old people in my day when I was a kid. I never saw old people exercising. Now you see old people down at the gym. They got on their loungewear and everything. Papa didn't have no loungewear. He just had overalls.
He didn't have an exercise.
But he had to go out there and run them cows up and cut the grass and holler at the dog and chase the dog. And he was getting exercise. It just wasn't in the gym.
He was getting exercise. Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the other question on that first bullet point here is what constitutes being old? I mean, in Papa's day, they were more robust people then.
The way I remember Papa, he was younger than we are now. And he was still old Papa, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you think back and do the math, he was younger than we are now. I mean, by the time he was our age, he's dead already, wasn't he? I don't know how
he
old
was
was Papa.
80.
I,
He was
I don't,
81.
I don't remember Papa when he was not old.
81.
81 or 82, something like
Well, I knew.
But he must have been in his 50s when we were born.
I knew him for 20 years at least. I think I knew him when I.
Yeah.
You know, so if you back that up, he's probably in his 60s when we started hanging out, and he's cutting my fingernails with a pocket knife and all that. He's probably in his 60s.
Yeah.
Which is, we're all older than that now.
Well, the reason he always looked old too, he's always wore those overalls, and he looked.
Well, that was another thing about people in previous generations. They did not dress fashionable, and we had a show on fashion.
Yeah.
But they didn't dress fashionable. They dressed old.
Yeah, I can't
Just the
imagine.
same way they did when he was
I
20.
can't imagine seeing Papa wearing short pants.
No, or on a pair of Levi's.
Yeah,
I
yeah. it just,
Do you,
wouldn't
do you
work.
ever think that he ever, or even Mama Albritton or Papa Tellis, any of those old timers that we considered old timers when we were kids, do you think it ever crossed their mind to like, I got to go out and do some exercise. I got to do a walk.
No, they weren't
They
concerned
never
with that. That's
saw the
nonsense.
need to actually go exercise. They just did stuff. Whatever they did, they didn't think of it as
Yeah,
this.
they stayed busy with life. They didn't have a sedentary lifestyle to be able to say, well, I better get up out of this chair and go exercise before I coagulate. Da, da, da. You know, like we do now. Everything's easy now, easier now than it was then. We don't have to go chop no firewood, light no fires before we can cook breakfast or any of that.
So if your daily routine, what you're saying, if your daily routine it includes digging post holes and chasing dogs and working in the garden and all that stuff.
If you're moving, if you're having physical movement of any kind,
Papa walked everywhere.
that's exercise. Yeah, that just walking around the farm is. That's
Well, a lot of
exercise.
times when I go to the doctor, they'll say, "Do you exercise?" And,
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I cut my own grass. I don't hire that. I cut my own grass, and I get out and pick up some limbs in the yard for a few minutes before
Gardening,
I have to go.
you got to go kneel down and get up and down.
Yeah,
to
now I
garden.
get down on my knees and I
Yeah.
grunt a few times getting up and down,
But
but
that's exercise.
that's exercise.
That's what
On-
you'd
on
be
the
doing
level,
at the
that's why-
gym. You'd be grunting and groaning while you're
That's
doing
right.
those.
That's right.
While you're paying a fee to do it. You know?
And why do I want to exercise beyond the level that I need in order to function? The level upon which I function as an old guy, why do I need to go beyond that? I don't need to run a mile.
Well, that's what I was going to ask next. Is are there structured exercises per se that we could do that would be beneficial above our normal routine?
May I say this, because I've really discovered it as I get older. Stretching, I think for old people, when you get up in bed in the morning, just lay there and stretch your heels out and your legs and your arms and just bend over a little bit to get your day going. I think stretching for old people is a good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a good
like a
thing,
new
yeah.
pair of shoes. You got to fold and bend. You got to get the kinks out of it and limber it up.
There
a
you
little
go.
bit. And your body's the same way, just like a pair of new shoes.
Yeah.
Every morning you got a new pair of shoes to
Yeah.
get the kinks out and crackle it and everything. But
Well, talking about the old timers that we considered old timers, is that them prison pants you wear?
No, Philip, these are like athletic pants that I have. on.
Exercise
it
pants?
looks like a state trooper pants.
Yeah.
Well, they have a stripe down the side, and they just got a stretched waistband, and
Well, anyway, I
only
got myself
one
off.
pair. This is the first time I wore them, and
That's
y'all
his
are,
exercising clothes.
I tell you this, I ain't gonna wear them again.
Not long as we're around, huh?
Ain't no having none of them damn peas. I'll tell you that.
Well, I don't remember any of them old timers. I forgot what I was going to say, but it had to do with
Exercising.
Yeah.
They're doing side straddle hops out in the backyard.
Yeah,
Can you imagine Papa doing that? We thought he was going crazy.
Well, you know, Daddy told this story, which I have alluded to before, a story about Papa's horse jumping off the bridge into the creek in the middle of the wintertime. And Papa was soaking wet and cold, and so Papa told Daddy to hop up on the horse and ride the horse back home, and he would jog along beside the horse as the horse galloped along.
Yeah.
He said Papa jogged along beside. I just couldn't imagine Papa jogging anywhere. I never saw Papa jog or run. Did you ever see Papa run? Except when I got over the fence one time, I saw Papa running, coming toward me like with a rock.
Get off that fence.
Trying to kill me. Get off that fence, boy.
Well, one thing we
That's the only
have
time I ever saw him running.
I think one thing that we have in our lives that Papa, that generation did not have very much of, that necessitates us consciously thinking about exercising, is TV.
Yeah.
They didn't sit in front of the TV all the time because a lot of them didn't have TV.
That's right.
Papa very seldom watched TV, even when he was older, when we were like in our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, very seldom did Papa sit down. He was...
Well, if he did, he didn't let nobody see him.
Right, he was embarrassed.
He'd be embarrassed if you walked up, and I did that a couple of times. Walked up to the front door, and Papa was standing there in the door. He wouldn't actually sit down in a chair. That would be like he's actually watching it. He would pretend like he's resting for a minute, and he just happened to be watching the TV.
Yeah, watch the soap operas.
And you go up there and go knock on that door. Pop, oh, let me turn this TV. Julie left that old TV on. Let me go turn it.
Yeah.
I just
He was really deep into the program.
He was deep into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Grandpa Caraway, I remember him watching it pretty.
Now he openly admitted
He
being
liked the soap
addicted.
operas.
Yeah,
he'd
Grandpa-
cuss at them. Like
Yeah, he'd talk to it.
He thought it was real.
Yeah, he'd yell at that TV. You could tell.
Well, what kind of organized exercises would, for us, for our generation as we age, what would be beneficial for us?
Well, we use our TVs nowadays for the expert to get on TV and holler at us old people to go out and exercise instead of watching this TV. But the experts are on TV telling you that.
Avis, that's a very poignant. How do you spell poignant? P-O-I-G some.
Yeah,
That's
something
a
like
very poignant thought.
That's an ironic thought.
Don't get us too deep into big words, Philip. Poignant. That's all I deal with today. I can't
The
deal
G,
with that.
the
Ironic.
G is silent. I think.
The G, yeah.
Poignant.
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 But
yeah, they do talk about it on TV about doing your exercise.
But now, I think in terms of exercise for our age, I think more in terms of getting some fresh air.
That ain't exercise. Fresh air.
No, but it turns into exercise. If I, I've been cooped up in this house all day watching TV or playing whatever. I need some fresh air. What I really need is some exercise and some fresh air.
And it's your body just telling you to just get up and move around. That's
Get up and
an
move.
internal mechanism that prompts you to get up and move around.
Yeah.
And you can call it going to get fresh air. You might be check the mail or
I'm gonna go check the mail.
check the weather,
Go for a walk.
watch the traffic,
Whatever,
whatever excuse it is. But it's your body internal
Needs to move.
mechanism telling you to get up and move around, and that's a normal type of thing for everybody has that.
I think exercise is very important.
Yeah.
But I don't think as we get older that we need to worry a whole lot, worry ourselves sick about it, like going to the gym. I see no need to be into the gym at my age.
Yeah, if you're 27 years old and weigh 400 pounds and eating pizza, then you probably need to be thinking about an exercise program, more so than old people.
Yeah.
I have to admire these young fit guys, even in their 50s, guys that are young, muscular, and they go to the gym all the time, and they got the six pack on their stomach, and they exercise to develop that six pack.
Yeah.
To make their
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing you got to keep on doing it. You can't stop.
Yeah.
Because you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was a governor. He just turned into a big old tub of lard.
Well,
A lot of them do that too.
Once you stop,
Yeah.
Well, the question I was going to pose was: are there, as we age, like in our age, in our 70s, what specific body parts do we need to focus on for our exercise regimen, if we have one, a schedule? What body parts?
Well, it's funny you should ask that question because I have thought about that very question, and I think the legs. That's when we stop. When we quit being mobile is when we sit down in that chair.
Yeah.
That's what Daddy did. His legs got weak. His eyes got bad where he couldn't see, and his balance got off, and therefore he didn't get up and move as much as he had before. Keep in mind, Daddy rode horses till he was up in his 70s. But when he stopped watching that TV, watching Jeopardy, he didn't want to get out of that chair. And when you do that, it doesn't take very long, just a matter of days. Your legs start to atrophy. I feel weak in my legs now.
Well, you lose muscle automatically by having your what's the hormone we have?
testosterone.
Testosterone. When your testosterone level starts waning after 40, you slowly start losing that muscle tone.
That's right.
So by the time you're our age, we hardly have any muscle left.
That's right.
And we can't build it because we can't hold on to it after we get sore and muscle.
You can slow it down a little bit maybe, but you're not going to build. It's like my son told me. I said, Steve, I don't want to be big and muscle like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's trying to get me to go to the gym. He said, Daddy, that ain't going to happen anyway. It don't matter how hard you work. It's too late. You're never going to be built like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Even Schwarzenegger is not built like Schwarzenegger anymore.
Yeah.
You see him without his shirt. He's a flabby old man now. He's a big guy with, tits. He is.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exercise, that routine, that regimen. You can't stop it. Once you start, and once you build to that level, you can't slack off. You got to keep on doing it. And he might have maintained that up longer if he kept doing it. But life gets in the way. You got to move on. There's more to life
just
than
don't
that.
feel
Gym.
Especially considering that our musculature is going to slowly get less and less. So we need to be up moving to keep some muscle and to strengthen the bones. I think the bones are a body part that's important. Joints.
Yeah.
That's true. The joint, and that has to do with diet, calcium, I think.
Well, exercise too.
With exercise, yeah. Your joints. But now, who lives longer, a little skinny guy or a big fat guy?
The skinny guy will live longer than the fat guy.
You think the skinny guy?
Always, yeah. That's the
See,
case.
I've read that it doesn't really matter. That weight has really nothing to do with how long you live. You see fat guys that live to be 85, 90, and you see little skinny guys that live to be. That really is not related to how long you're going to live. It may be relevant to your quality of life. I mean, if you're a big fat guy and somebody wants to go for a hike, maybe, well, I ain't up to it. I'm too fat, or maybe my diabetes or something. My legs are full up. I think it's better to be skinny as you get older if you can be.
Well, since you mentioned
dump some of that weight.
Since you mentioned diabetes in your
I got diabetes.
We all do. But once you get older, you got all these medical issues that get in the way of going to the gym and out there huffing and puffing and kicking weights around and jogging and all this nonsense. Your health gets in the way. You got bad knees, you can't go jogging nowhere. You can't hardly walk to the mailbox.
It hurts too bad.
I got bad knees. I can't hardly walk from one end of the mall to the next.
Well, my back hurts. If I go out here and jog, my back's going to
kill.
I can't even get through the rest of the day.
Do more damage than
I'm done
good.
for.
Yeah. So it's good to be exercising, but in order to go by that mold of you get old, just need to go exercise. Well, yeah, if you're a skinny guy and you've always been a skinny guy and you got no medical issues with your bones, your knees, your hips ain't locking up, all this, yeah, by all means, go to the gym. Have a good time. I'll be on the recliner watching the rodeo, whatever.
Well, the gym and exercise in particular are not, at our age and probably starting in our 50s, is not so much designed to keep us muscle strong as to keep the heart muscle. Keep the heart muscle toned, because if that heart muscle wanes and you start having heart problems, you can be a little skinny guy and healthy with muscles on your arms, and you're going to die of a heart attack. You got to keep that heart muscle and exercise. What do they call that? Cardiovascular exercising.
Well, see, there's still a big controversy about that, which is best, cardiovascular or weightlifting. They now say that weightlifting is better for your for your heart than running.
Well, it's all about putting the stress on your system and ramping it up to a point that it's exercising. It's like making it go faster. And you can get that from a conversation with two brothers. It gets your heart pumping, and it's like a cardiovascular workout.
It usually does get my heart pumping.
Yeah, is that the same as going out there jogging around the house? I don't know if you're getting the same benefit out of it.
Now, if you get arterial blockages, now that could complicate it even more. And
now that goes to diet.
Well, you say, but I think exercise plays a part in that too.
Yeah, and a lot of that's in your DNA anyway, so it doesn't matter if you're eating bacon or grits or shoe leather. You're going to get what you're going to get. That's in your DNA. I had the cardiologist to explain that to me before. Doesn't matter. It's too late.
Well, if you go down, I learned most of my medical information from going down to the mall and sitting on the bench out there while my wife's walking inside, looking at shoes or something. Just sit down on the bench and looking at people.
You get exercise doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm getting any exercise.
That's what you call that mall walker.
I'm not getting any exercise, but I'm gaining a lot of knowledge. If I see like Pudgy Daddy and Pudgy Mama, and two little pudgy girls and a little pudgy boy, what's that telling me? Is Mama feeding them all wrong, or are they genetically built to be pudgy?
They're all on food stamps. That's what it tells me. They're
What's
probably
causing that?
eating that much food.
It's probably a little bit of both. What you're saying, they're prone to have that body build. Plus, they eat too much. You know, that's just a common. If you eat too much, you're going to gain weight.
We all eat too much.
Yeah.
Everybody. I think everybody in the civilized world eats too much.
Well, in America we do.
Any country.
Probably so.
Anywhere. We eat too much. It takes very little to keep you sustained in life. As you can watch that show that you watch on TV,
Alone. Yeah.
Alone, the survival shows. These guys are going days without either a bite to eat or a piece of fish or
They catch a fish
acorn.
once a week. You know, they eat one fish a week.
And they're still alive. You know, they may not have been to the bathroom in 2 weeks, but they're still alive.
Ain't much to go through.
Yeah, ain't nothing to go through them.
Scavenging for blueberries or whatever.
In reality, it takes very little. Our grocery bill, if we're spending $500 a month on groceries, you could probably do very well on $100 a month and be more healthy for it.
I'll agree with you on that. We all eat too much. Why do we do that? Are we hungry, or are we just bored?
Like it so much. It's just so good.
It's just good.
Yeah.
Well, food is a social,
exactly.
a legitimate social activity.
It's a psychological activity.
We focus around eating. Come over, like a cup of coffee. Come over and have some coffee. Well, it ain't about the coffee. I might have a glass of hot chocolate or a glass of water for that matter. But in America, come over and I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And then you come over there and you eat that muffin, that popcorn, or whatever you
have a piece of
and
cake.
alcohol's the same way. We've become a nation of alcoholics.
Yeah.
Just from socializing.
Well, getting back to the exercise now, if we touched on this earlier, is a gym membership necessary?
No, gym membership is a capitalist element of this whole thing, and ain't none of that crap necessary.
No, I've been active in gym off and on through the years.
Would a gym membership be helpful though? In some cases,
I enjoyed it when I was in it. Once I got a habit of doing it, and I looked in the mirror and I said, "Looking pretty good for my age," you know. But it's mostly ego. But it'll tone you up if you work on some weights. It'll make your arms. See, my arms ain't much I can do for them now. They're just flabby and wrinkled. There ain't much hope for me anymore. But 20 years ago, there was a little bit of hope that I could work out and I could look better.
If you have a goal you're working towards, go to the gym, and there's machines in there designed to help build your pectorals or whatever you got.
That's right.
There's a specific thing that you need at the gym. That's fine. But other than that, I resent the whole idea of a gym. It's all capitalistic. Rip people off. You know they're not ever going to come back. They're going to pay their money and get their automatic paid once a month deduction.
1 or 2 times.
It's another social activity too.
Yeah, it's another social activity.
Most people stand around in there leaning on the walker.
Going to the
talking.
juice bar. At the juice bar, going to get all dollied up like they're going to work out, and go sit at the juice bar and look at other people. Like Lloyd does at the mall.
What specific exercise equipment or gear would be beneficial for us as old people? Is there anything that we would...
A bicycle.
I think the leg thing, going back, the legs as we get older, as long as we can stand up and walk around and move about, our quality of life can be acceptable. Okay, but when you get to where you're not mobile...
About 10, 12 years ago when I had my stent put in for my heart, I went to rehab and went through all these exercises I can do at home. And one of the things that I bought one was one of these balls you sit on. You got a handle and you sit on this ball, and there's all kind of different exercises and movements you can do sitting on this ball. But what I enjoyed more than anything was bouncing around on it.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, while you're having fun with that, your core muscles are moving about and manipulating, and that's improving your core muscles.
And without being too stressful, for an older person. So I think there are certain things that we're maybe not aware of that rehab people would know about, doctors or whatever.
Well, there are muscles that I have read that the most people use their stomach muscles as they get up. It's when they get up out of bed. Our stomach muscles get we got to roll over to the side to get up. You know, I mean, we don't have the strength in our stomach.
That's
and
core.
The core
muscles.
And there are other muscles that we don't use, like in our ankles, and that we rarely use. And when you do use them, it hurts because they just need stretching or something. You know?
Well, I got one more thing here to talk about, and we're probably going to start tapering off here for this episode.
Wow, this is quick. Yeah.
What safety or health considerations, precautions do older people need when they think about doing exercises that young folks don't have to consider?
If you got bad knees, you can't do mountain climbing. You can't go up and down that hill if you got bad knees. You might get up there, but it's going to be hard getting back. You're going to have to roll down.
Well, that's
because
true.
bad knees is a problem both ways.
Bad knees, yeah. But you got in your whole structure, you got your muscles and you got your ligaments and all them little things that stretch. You can stretch one of them and it hurts very painful and it'll cripple you for a week.
Well, we talked about the heart earlier.
If you stretch it too much.
Stretch it too much. Yeah. It's important to stretch. Stretching, I think, when you get old, particularly, it's important to young people too.
Well, you know, an old rubber band will break easier than a new rubber band. That's how I look at my
exactly.
my own structure. Is that you take an old rubber band and found it in the drawer, and try to pull it open and wrap it on something, it's going to break.
Trying to break.
And that's the way your ligaments and tendons and all this.
That's why you need to kind of test it a little bit before you jump right in there.
Right.
Test it, and if you feel pain, then back off.
Right.
Don't be stupid, you know.
Something that I've ridden the motorcycle numerous times over from the time I was younger, and then I started very active again when I was about 50, up until just a few years ago, and I realized my balance issue was getting worse.
I was just about to bring up that thing about balance.
So as your balance ability deteriorates, there are things that you have to watch out for, or maybe go with somebody else.
Because you can't take a fall like you could at 10 years old.
Right.
You can't jump off the house now, but you could at 10. And so when you get to sitting around thinking, I'm still fit, and you try to jump off the house when you're 70, you're going to have to get an ambulance to pick you up.
Yeah, and it's not just about jumping off the house either. It's like Gwen, we got this little robot vacuum thing, and it gets stuck underneath something.
Yeah.
Gwen got down to reach under and get the little vacuum, and she just fell right over backward, hit her head on the table, right?
Yeah.
That could have killed her right there.
Yeah.
All right. People fall and like I told her, you could break your hip at your age. You don't have to take a baseball bat and hit your arm to break it. Just a little bit of stress will break because your bones get brittle. So you have to think ahead. Before you get down there and try to get that thing out, think.
Like Clint Eastwood said, a man or a woman's got to know their limitations. You got to recognize what you can't do.
I think as you get older, because when you get old like us, if you get cancer or you get a traumatic disease, or if you break a hip, it's hard. For some reason, it's hard to get up recover from a broken hip. So don't go there. The longer you can survive, you might have to walk around like Tim Conway. But if that's what you got to do, that's better than sitting in a wheelchair.
Preservation. Yeah.
Preserve yourself and don't stretch it, because you break that bone and you never get over it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to cut it off here again. We're out of time. But
we are out of time.
We want to
well, it's been fun.
Wish Avis a successful trip back to his home and family, and we'll.
Are you looking more forward to getting home, or are you looking more forward to getting rid of me and Phillip?
Yeah.
All right, say bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
All right.